Okay, so welcome to the Repl.it and GitHub website workshop. So as you can see, this is a partnership between Girl Genius and Hack Club to support both our communities through different things that we're doing. And so the way that this workshop works is this is kind of your typical Hack Club meeting. I wanted to show you all, if you were interested in what a Hack Club meeting could look like, this is how I run my clubs. Now, this is how I run them in person. So it's a bit difficult and different to figure out how to do this online for this year, but I've kind of picked up a few things here and there, and so it really depends on you as a leader what you want your hack club to look like, but I just thought I would share mine. So before every meeting, I basically tell everyone on my club, I don't teach, I just show you how to learn. So this workshop isn't exactly like a course. I'm not going to be going over every single definition, but I'm going to give you resources and basic ideas so that you know what to look up, and you can build off of these ideas to build your own type of thing. So yeah, I'm going to be giving a demo where basically I'm going to live code example, and I want all of you to take the things you learned from that example and Google and search and have the time to customize it a little bit. And then at the end, we're going to share what we made. So this is the final product I'll be making. It'll be like a super simple site. It's just a photo of Prophet Orpheus. And if you're all wondering, Prophet Orpheus is Hack Club's mascot. So you can learn more about that if you look up Prophet Orpheus Hack Club. And it's a she, is a dinosaur. So we want to show off our cool coder dinosaur mascot on this website. So this is what I'll be building. Okay, cool. So demo time, that's pretty much it. At this point in the club meeting, I kind of just go straight into it. I'm going to open up Repl.it. So Repl.it. And I'm going to just click start coding. So for all of you that have never worked with Repl.it or GitHub, in this point of the workshop, it would be great if you could pull up Repl.it, make an account. It's actually better to make a GitHub account and then make a Repl.it account because you can link them. So I can't exactly show that flow. I already have a Repl.it and GitHub linked. So I just suggest going on github.com. Create an account, and then once you go to Repl.it and you click sign up, just hit this GitHub icon right here, and you'll be able to enter your new GitHub account and link them automatically. So I'm going to log into Repl.it with my account using my GitHub. And see, like, it auto logs you in. You can see all my repos from GitHub. So I'm going to explain a little bit what GitHub is. GitHub is a version control software. So if you go on the website, basically it's a place for all your code to live in. So I'll go to my profile if you want to see. You can see that over here I have a bunch of repos, which are basically just code projects that I uploaded to GitHub. And when you click any of these, you can see the actual code. So here you can see like all the code I wrote for this website for my hack club. And GitHub's really great because I can just copy paste this link to my profile, put it on a resume, put it on like a post or something if I want people to see my work. I've used it multiple times for resumes. I think GitHub's great for that. So I highly recommend getting a GitHub account and putting your code on there. You can also have private repos. So I'll show you some that I have. So here's like a test repo I did at one of a workshop I was doing a few days ago. So you can make it private so people can't see it, and you can make other ones public so people can. And then people can star your project. You can also find other people's code on here. So I'll show you, here's a project that I currently help out with. It's called Tomesh, which sounds weird, but it's actually Toronto Mesh. So I live in Toronto, Canada, if you didn't know. Tomesh is basically just an internet project. And so they put their code up here. And if I want to help them out and contribute to their code, I can just start a pull request after I edit their code on a fork. So that's how GitHub works. It just allows you to post your code, edit other people's code, look through other people's code, that type of thing. So it's pretty awesome, yeah. So in Repl.it, if you're all following along, basically, oh, By the way, if at any time you want me to slow down, re-explain something, or you're not done doing anything, please let me know in the chat. So how many people here so far have either a GitHub or Repl.it account so far, and are seeing what I'm seeing, kind of? Raise your hand. You can go in the participants tab and raise your hands, or just write it in the chat. Awesome. Okay. So a lot of you have accounts already, so I'm just going to get started. For the rest of you making accounts, if I get started and you feel like you're way far behind, please raise your hand or write it in the chat, and I'll be sure to slow down. I won't call you out, don't worry. I'll just slow down. So yeah. Cool. So once you're on the screen, you can click this plus button right here, and that basically just starts a new project. So I'm going to click this plus button. So you can choose what language you want your project in. I've sometimes done Node projects on here, so whatever language you're writing in, you can choose. Today we're just building a simple website, so we're going to be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Cool thing about Repl.it is it like auto names your Repl.it using a bunch of randomly generated words. So this one's called Healthy Embarrassed Word Processor. So, and you can make this public so that people can see this code and also make a copy of it. I'm just gonna leave it private because this is a test and we don't want to make it super public. You can do whatever you like. Oh, actually, please make it public because we want to share with each other what we made, and then you can make it private later on. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to create this Repl.it. Cool. It's a super easy flow. Haya and Amjad and their team is great. So like this is really meant to be for beginners. So I'm going to walk you through what we're looking at here. So we have our file tab right here, which is basically just telling us all the files that we need for our website. We need HTML, JS, and CSS. So CSS handles styles, JavaScript handles functions and like the workings of the website, and HTML handles blocks and what actually shows up. Now, here's the thing about like writing and any type of code. I know quite a big number of you all have written code before. You don't really need to memorize every single function. Usually they're self-explanatory. So meta, it's a meta tag. If you don't know what a meta tag is, you can always look that up. A lot of these things you can look up. I'm just gonna get you started with some very simple tags. So we have H1, which is header of size 1. So the lower the number, the bigger the text. So I'm going to do H2, and I'm going to do, just so you can see what I'm coding, I'm going to zoom in. Then I'm going to do H3, just to show you all the different sizes that HTML has. There's a lot of really cool tags you can look up, but I'm just going to go over basics. So as you can see already, while I was doing that, Repl.it suggests a few tags. So that's another really cool thing about Repl.it if you're a beginner. It really helps you while you code. Okay, should we connect to GitHub? We have to pay to be public. You don't have to pay to be public. Are you talking about GitHub or Repl.it? I think on Repl.it you have to pay to be private, but by default everything's public on Repl.it. Yeah, pay to be private. Yeah, okay. So just leave that setting as public. Cool. Let's go back here. So the really cool thing about Repl.it is you can run your code right here by just clicking this run button. So let's click run. Oh, there you go. There you see it. So you see how as we increase the header number, it got smaller. So that's one rule of HTML. There's so many rules, and a really good resource I suggest for learning this is W3 Schools. So you can look up W3 Schools HTML And then you'll get links like this that'll show you what each thing means, and it really goes through examples. I'm just going to go through basics. So now we want to make that website that I was showing you earlier with Prophet Orpheus. If you actually explore GitHub a bit, I'm going to do this just to get you all looking through GitHub. If you look up Hack Club on GitHub, the first repo you'll see is hack club/hack club. Just click that. And what you'll see right here is we have a dinosaurs repo. Let me just check the chat real quick. Oh, it's free now apparently to be private. It depends. It doesn't really matter. You can just leave it public and delete later. Cool. So under Hack Club's GitHub, you can see this repo called dinosaurs. So you can just Google, let me just do it real quick. You can just Google Hack Club GitHub, Hack Club GitHub. And then this first thing that pops up, github.com/hackclub. I'll just send you all the link to the repo. So I'm gonna go look for dinosaurs. I'll send this in the chat. There you go. So if you go to that link, you'll see a lot of photos of Prophet Orpheus. So these are made by people on our Slack. They're part of our community. So I really like this one. So I'm going to copy this one. So copy image. Cool. Oh, actually, you don't want to copy the image. What you want to do is copy image address. That way we can code it into our website. So I'm going to do that right here. There's something called an image tag. So img, and then src just means source. So I'm going to set the source equal to our link for the photo. I'll send this link in the chat, but you can just right click on any dinosaur image and click copy image address. But if you want to use this default to practice, here it is. Cool. Now that we have our image and source, you'll notice that in HTML, whenever I do a less than sign, there's always a greater than sign afterwards. And usually they're paired with a slash. The way the image source one works is there's a slash at the end. You can always just Google that. So if I wanted to know, I would just look up image HTML, and it's called a tag. And W3 Schools is great. It shows me exactly how to do it. So yeah. Cool. Now that we've written that, let's run it and see if it shows our photo. And it does. There it is. Awesome. So I think it's a bit big, but we'll go back to that in our style and write that in. So for now, we just want to add a tag. So I want to add a bold piece of text. So I'm going to write strong, and then I'm going to write a closing strong tag. And I'm going to write, this is Prophet Orpheus. And then I'm going to use a paragraph tag, which is just called the P tag. Whatever you want to do in HTML, you can always Google it, and there's a tag for it. So I'm going to write, she's a lovely dinosaur who loves to code. Cool. Now I'm going to run it. There it is. There's our website. So that's for you. If you want to make like a very simple resume website, you can just put a photo and your tags in there. But I want a little bit more style. This is kind of boring. We want like a nice background color. Hayao does design, so like we should do very basic design changes. So first of all, I want a background color. If we go to index.html, something you should know about CSS is if you want to change the color of a section of the website, you need to call it by its HTML tag. I want to change the body, which is like what we're seeing here. So I'm going to use the body tag here. Body. And then I use curly brackets because that's the convention in CSS. You can always Google that. If at all you're lost or very behind right now, please raise your hand or write it in the chat and I'll be sure to address it. So let's change the color. Let's just do color, semicolon, what looks interesting, antique white. We want it a little classy, but a little bit beige. Oh, that changed the text. Right, you have to do background color. Background color. And see that autocomplete that Repl.it does? That's why it's really good for beginners. Cool, there we go. Now we have a lot more aesthetically pleasing site. And you'll see it really fits the page. But uh-oh, here's an issue. This is right beside the image. I'll show you why that is. So if we go into HTML right here, you'll see that it's right after the image tag and there's no breaks. If I try to hit enter, that's not going to work because spaces in code don't really get translated. So instead we can just do a BR tag, which is a break tag. And we can run it. Let me check the chat. Yes, yeah, Rebecca, you're right. So BR tag. So we're gonna run, and then there you go. Now it's in a new line. Another cool thing about Repl.it is if you want to see your site in full screen, you can just click this button right here, open in a new tab. And so this is what my website looks like so far. We're nearing the halfway point, and I want to give a good amount of time for you all to make your own things and also a good enough time for us all to share. So there's lots of things you can do with image tags. You can actually add GIFs in here. You can add a lot of different things. I want to show you some examples before we leave about people who have done this Hack Club workshop. So I'm going to hackclub.com/workshops. Cool. If I go into the personal website one, you can see people's examples. So here. Website made by other Hack Club hackers and professionals. So for some example, let's just check one of these. Yeah, so this is a really simple website. I think a lot of people see websites today like, let me just find a really complicated looking. Oof, I can't really. I mean, people see websites that are super complex and are like, oh, I have to make a super complex, very designed website. But most web devs that I know, their websites are super simple, nice to read. So this is a really cool resume website. I'll show you mine. Mine's more, it's a bit old and I have to upgrade it, but it's more about a blog. So it's just this, my internet name. The blog, more about me, and here's a page about me. That's really it. So yeah, I'd love to see what you all get going in the next like 35 minutes or so. Let me just check the chat real quick. Did you create your website with Repl.it? So my website, I actually used Netlify and GitHub. So I would basically write my code and upload it to GitHub and use netlify.com to manage uploading those files to my domain name. And it says, did you purchase the domain name? Yes, I purchased the domain name. So it's my first name and last name.com. I think for my website, maybe it's like $5 like a year. It's not that expensive actually. What did Girl Genius use to make their website? I'm from Hack Club, so I have no clue what Girl Genius used to make their website. But if you want to know what Hack Club used to make their website, it was actually built by Lachlan, who's very talented. Oh, look, it's me right there. Anyways, so Hack Club's website was made using, I think it's JavaScript, but I'm not sure. It was styled components with React or something of the sorts. Lachlan built it, who's very talented. Can I use a website I've already been working on? You could, but I think it would be pretty great to see what you can make in the next 40 hours. Even if it's a meme page, I really like those too. So it doesn't have to be super professional. It's just a fun workshop. I want to see what you all end up making in 40 minutes. I usually run these and I get things like meme pages, that type of stuff. Does making any type of website cost money? Nope, I've made lots of websites for free. I'll show you one that was actually the first piece of major code I've written ever. I think I was 13, so it's my blog. And I didn't pay a single dime. So actually, if you look back at the time, I started this blog in 2016. Okay, so I was actually 14 when I built this. Yeah. So this was in 2016, and I wrote this blog. Um, and yeah, I was literally 14, just like building my first piece of real code and put it up on blogspot.com for free. And people actually read it if you look at the stats. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to update my new site. If you all want to like keep up or like DM me with more questions or see what projects I'm building, you can check out my Twitter. I'm going to plug it real quick. I'm going to plug my Twitter real quick. Let's see. I will say my Twitter username is like my gaming username, so the link is like annoying to type. So this is my Twitter if you want to go like DM me with questions, or I'm always like posting about what I'm reading or doing. So if you're ever interested, you can just check it out there. Oh, by the way, feel free to be working on your stuff right now. I'm just doing kind of Q&A and stuff. Do you have a LinkedIn? Yeah, I do. So I'll write my name in the chat. You can just Google it with LinkedIn. So let's see. Yeah, so that's my name. You can just Google it on LinkedIn. It'll be there. Um, love to connect with all of y'all. Though I will say I'm more active on Twitter than LinkedIn. Can you link your Twitter page here? Okay, 1 second. Can we get more info on GitHub and GitHub website? So how would we have an official website after coding and everything? So technically with Repl.it, you already have a link. So if I post this link right here, you can all click it and see this exact website. So if you want to have a Repl.it link, you can just name it something proper and send that out. In terms of GitHub, so I was just about to go into the GitHub flow in Repl.it. You can click version control in Repl.it and actually upload your code to GitHub. So I'm clicking GitHub like version control. I'm going to click create a Git repo. So it's going to create like a repository to store your code in GitHub. So just waiting for this. And then I'm going to click connect to GitHub. And then I can give my repository a description. And I'm going to make it public, create the repository. You can make your GitHub repository private, I think, without paying here. Cool. So now that it's done, whenever you make a file change, you can upload it to GitHub to be saved there. So I'm going to just make a quick edit. Cool. Now you can see that it's updating. It's just loading here. That's why it's a bit grayed out. So just wait for it for a bit. Cool. Now it says, what did you change? So you need to just put a quick commit message. Added the author of website. Then I can commit and push to GitHub. Cool, so you can see my changes here. You can always revert your code back to what it was and then commit to change it in GitHub. Now if I go to a new tab, github.com/your username. Oh, whoops, that's not my username anymore, I forgot. And then you can see in your repositories that it's been uploaded to GitHub from Repl.it. So here it is. There you go. Let me check the chat. I see some stuff there. Can we access this workshop recording later? Yes, I will upload this somewhere you all can see. And we can also do it directly on GitHub, right? Yes, but the thing about GitHub is you won't be able to see your code changes. Like you won't see what the website looks like. In Repl.it, you can click run and see what the website looks like. In GitHub, there's no way to check what it looks like. You would just be writing code on like a blank screen. So unless you really know what you're doing in terms of code, you might not know what it would look like on a website. That's why I say Repl.it's always better. Then you can see what it looks like. Cool, we're right at the halfway point. So you all can work on your websites individually or just ask questions in the chat. I'm just here to hang out, answer some questions while everyone's working on their website. The purpose of HackLab is for uploading your code and tracking the versions of code, right? Are there more features? Okay, while we wait for people to make their websites on Repl.it, I will go over some of the features. Okay, so you can upload your code and track changes, but there's lots of other stuff you can do with GitHub. So I'm going to start with the fun part for me. You can follow people's, oh, I forgot to follow Abby. So you can follow people's GitHubs to see what they're building in your feed. So for example, these are some people I follow. Daniel Schiffman's pretty cool, so I follow him. And basically whenever they make changes to their code or they like another repository, I can see what they're doing. And so I tend to just follow people who are always making cool stuff. So this is Zach Latta, founder of Hack Club. I'll show you some, like this is his GitHub, you can follow and stuff. I'll use his as an example of going through most of GitHub's features. Have you ever used Glitch, and what's the difference between it and Repl.it? Yes, I have used Glitch. I'd say Glitch has a little bit higher barrier to entry. So Glitch has more community helping each other. So if you need like help with code or running code, you get that. But the thing is, Glitch has a lot of things that you as a beginner don't need, and Repl.it just takes them away. But if you are a bit more experienced and now you're building sites with things like React, I definitely recommend Glitch over Repl.it for now, because of its support for Express.js, Next.js, and all of those like JavaScript libraries. The community of people that code on there is pretty great. So it depends on who you are. I'd say beginners, go for Repl.it. If you've coded before and now you're getting more into advanced web design and stuff like that, go into Glitch. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with the GitHub exploration stuff. Oh, chat. Can you use command line to use GitHub? Yes, you can. I'll go over that. But I think first I want to show you what it looks like on the site, and then we can go over the terminal. So another feature other than uploading your own code and following people is you can contribute code. So I'll show you some repositories I contribute code to, or organizations. Tomesh is, I'll go with the first one that I used to contribute to. So Public Lab was like a organization that helps environmental scientists track their data in terms of pollution and stuff. So I helped a lot with their website. So this is my fork, but if I go back to the original, basically this organization made a website, uploaded it to GitHub. Now they have a bunch of issues, right? Like things aren't loading right, they want more features, they need help, but they don't want to hire people because maybe they're a nonprofit. And say like I was before, I was looking to write code for my GitHub so people can see what I can do. And I was also learning, like I was a really big beginner in Ruby on Rails. And so the best thing when you're learning a language, I think, is to go on GitHub and contribute to projects and just learn while you're building stuff. So I went on this project and I helped build their website in terms of features and stuff, and they use Ruby. So I just went on their issues. They have first timer issues. You can click on them and they give you a description of the problem, where to find the code, and how to give changes. So the way you can contribute to someone's code is basically figure out what you want to add, and then you basically just fork it over here. You just click fork, and then you have your own copy of it. So this is my copy. And now I can edit whatever code I want. So I can edit whatever file, whatever, and then I can create a pull request in the original repo. Here, pull request. And you can see here, pull requests are people who have changed their copy. So this is a bot, so I'm gonna go to a person. Yeah, so you can see here, Public Lab main is the main project, and T Lazy Panda add print template is the copy that they made on their own computer. If you go to commits, basically this person added some code. So if I go to the file change, they added some code in their copy. Now they want to push it to the real copy. So they make a pull request, and then someone who's in charge at the organization of the original repo will go in and merge it to the real copy. Let me check chat again. Is there any online free resources to learn how to code a website? There's so many. There's YouTube tutorials, so many of them. Um, I'd say if you really want to learn, go for. So I talked about W3 schools is really good. They explain concepts really well. So whenever you have a question, just look up W3 schools. Obviously, there's Solo Learn, Code Academy. There's lots of Coursera stuff. Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp's really good. For anything. Like if you ever want to build like stuff with Node.js, like Free Code Camp is great. I use them a lot. Yeah. So let's keep going on GitHub stuff. So you can contribute to other projects. That's something you can do. You can also download code. So there's some stuff I have liked before on here where it was me trying to download a program. Oh, just curious, what languages do you know? So I started with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I also started with C++, and then I did Java. I also did Ruby on Rails. I mostly do JavaScript now. Like it's nearly 100% JavaScript. I'm learning Python. I've done other stuff too. So Ruby on Rails. Let me check my GitHub. Most of the languages I've ever written on are on my GitHub. So I've written in Bash, so the Linux scripting language. I've written in that. Yeah, what are some cool Java projects you've done or are working on? So for Java projects, I mostly just did school stuff with Java. I'm going to be honest, Java's not a very useful language right now. Like if you want to build something, it's not like that great of a language. So nothing really that cool. I think the coolest thing I've done is just contribute to a project that uses Java. So nothing really on that end that I know of. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going with the GitHub stuff. Just give me 1 second. Cool. Okay, so what else? So you can have streaks on GitHub with your contributions, repositories. You can get added to organizations. So these are the organizations I got added to because I like actively contributed to them. So if we want to look through my GitHub contribution history, there you go. That's pretty much it. I do more cybersecurity stuff, so there's not that much I can contribute, but whenever I can, I do. See something in the chat. What programs or applications let you make free websites with your own domain? Oh, you can't really, your own domain, it's very difficult to get for free, but Hack Club does have resources where you can get a free .tech domain. I don't know if Girl Genius does, but lots of nonprofits give away free domains for students. If you have the GitHub developer pack or student pack, so I would look up GitHub student pack. Yep, GitHub Student Developer Pack. I think one of them is a free domain for a year. So, yeah, so you can get a 1 year registration on .me for Namecheap, name.com. You get one free domain name with secure SSL, so I would go for that. Yeah, there's other ones. Yeah, .tech domain you get for a year and 100 megabytes of free storage. So if you haven't already, please sign up as a GitHub student developer. I have like 2 years ago. It's awesome. Oh yeah, this is also cool. Stripes, pretty cool. Is it a domain like .tech.org.com? So there's .tech. For name.com, you can actually choose a free domain that's a .com domain. I think for the first year of my domain, I did it for free. So dinahanan.com. Then I paid about $5 a year. So I check out the Namecheap or name.com. I did Namecheap. It doesn't matter which one you do, really. There's no difference, especially if you're hosting it on somewhere like GitHub. If you want to host it with Namecheap, go ahead. But like, I highly recommend using Netlify and GitHub. So I'm going to write that in the chat in case people miss it. So Netlify. So Netlify will just take your domain name. It's pretty easy to get started and get set up, and it'll pull your changes from GitHub every time and show it on your page pretty quickly. So if you want to, I'll show you real quick what my Netlify looks like for my website. Not Netflix, Netlify. What? What is this? Did Netlify redesign their? Oh, they redesigned their website. Okay. Um, okay, here it is. So these are my websites. Let's take a look at jv.hackload.com. So it's on a site, it's on like the domain name, it was super easy to set up. And you can see every time I've updated my code, it updates the site. So it's really awesome. Any other questions about anything? Any other questions? Also, for those of you who have sent me private questions, is it okay if I just answer for everyone? That way, like, if anyone needs it, I just like won't say your name, but if anyone needs these questions, okay, sure, okay. So one question someone asked was, for a blog, is there any free site that I can use to, oh, I send private messages by accident all the time, it's okay. So it says, for a blog, is there any free sites I can use to code my blog? What would you recommend? I got started on Blogspot. It's great. Like, if you Google it, a lot of people be like, oh, but like, there's this and there's that. If you're just starting and you want to get a blog up as soon as possible, use Blogspot or just use GitHub and Netlify and get your own domain name. Both are great, so do either one of those. How did you get your internship at Hack Club? Hack Club reached out to me. They don't really do applications for internships. I get this question a lot, but they reached out to me. I was just a part of the Hack Club community. I was on the Slack. I think so. There's this great book by, I know his name. I always recommend his books. Um, let me look it up. What's it called? How to be a straight A student, or it was something clickbaity like that by. He's a computer scientist. Maxwell or something was his name. I'm blanking on the name right now. Oh, what that was, Cal Newport. Yeah, I know this one. Okay, so Cal Newport has this book called How to Michael Hart. No. It's Cal Newport. He has this book called How to Be a Straight A Student, I think it was, or How to Be a High School Superstar or something like this. I read it sometime in high school. I was already part of GitHub at this point, but he said something about how whenever you join any type of community, make sure that you're being like engaged and you're actually contributing and helping other people in the community, like without expectation of anything. And usually the community takes care of you like you take care of it. So, and I see this with I'm not just saying Hack Club, I'm saying a lot of organizations do this, where if you're an active user of their product, or you're a huge fan of what they do and you regularly contribute or talk about them, they'll find you. And that's actually the best way. I think if I went into things being like, I really wish I had an internship, I need an internship, and then I just went and showed people my resume, I don't think I would have an internship right now. But instead, I just made sure that in the Discords and Slacks and communities that I was in, I was being a good member. And I was having fun and like meeting people through it. So I went to the flagship event at Hack Club. They would ask me to do some stuff and I would like do it because of course, like I loved Hack Club. Um, they do, but like they do find you. I hear people say that and people are like, oh, it doesn't work like that. It's really hard to find a job. I understand, but it's, if you do take an active role in the communities you're a part of, they will take care of you too. And I see this a lot. Are there any good internships in Canada? I'm from Toronto. I am too. So if you, I would say either do that with like companies that are remote and just like work remotely, or there's places like Shopify. It's very competitive. So there's Shopify and there's also RBC. So my first internship was at RBC last summer. So I I was working there as a high school developer, and I applied because I was at one of their events. This is also another case of be active in the community, and the community takes care of you. So I went to an event for cybersecurity, and my mom was just like, "Oh, you should go talk to people, go say hi," and so I did, and I actually ended up meeting my manager and her manager. I didn't know it at the time. I just kind of started talking to them. I was at this event alone, and most other teams were with their school. I just had my mom drive me because I wanted to see what it was like. And so they were like, "That's awesome. Like, tell me about yourself, etc." And then at the end, she was like, "Can I get your email? We have this internship coming up, and it's not really public yet, but we want people to join." Now the internship is public, but back then they were just trying it out. So I say when you go to events and when you meet people and when you're in a community, just be sure to be like active and make real friendships, not just like, talking about just like business, and then it becomes all people showing off and everyone hates those conversations. So that's the best advice I can give. And read Cal Newport, all of his books. I did. They're great. What else? In terms of Canada, I think that's all I can think about. There's not that much, sadly, for high school students. There's always startups. So, author of the book, yeah, I'll write in the chat. So it's CAL space NEWPORT, Cal Newport. He's a computer scientist. He's very smart. I think he graduated pretty young, and I think he's like the youngest fellow or professor or something at his school. Um, Oh shoot, I sent it as a private message. I did that mistake too. Here it is. There it is. So CAL space NEWPORT is Cal Newport. Yeah, of course, no problem. Any other questions for me? I know a lot of you are developers, but I actually work as more like right now, like in my free time, I'm doing more cybersecurity stuff. So you can ask questions about that too. How to import a photo of your own. Um, So I'll do it right now. Okay. Go into your files and then click add file. You can just drag and drop. So I'm going to go into my Finder. I'm going to drop this cute cartoon of myself right here. Okay, I'm going to rename it by right-clicking, clicking rename. I'm just going to write me. And then in your image source, you just replace it with the name because it's in the same folder, so it'll find it automatically. I hit run. There you go. Have you heard of cyber discovery? No problem, Maria. Have you heard of cyber discovery? I have not heard of cyber discovery. What is it? I mostly do CTFs, and also like I'm trying to get into like bug bounty and trying to figure out security vulnerabilities like in real programs. So I'm hacking on Tumblr currently. It's a cybersecurity competition. Oh, I've never heard of it. I do CTFs, which are another type of cybersecurity competition, and I've done Pico CTF, TJ CTF, um, but I haven't heard of cyber discovery. So for people watching this later, um, you can check out cyber discovery. Cool. Oh, I have heard of cyber discovery. I think they did something for girls or something like that. There was like a girls hacking challenge, and I saw on John Hammond's YouTube about it. It's only in the UK. Oh, okay, cool. You all have some pretty cool hackers. If you're ever wondering how to get into cybersecurity, there's this great YouTuber called Insider PhD. Her name's Katie Paxton Fear. She's fantastic. It's a great resource. I'm just gonna pull it up for people watching this later. So Insider PhD. Oops, that's not how you spell it. Here it is. That's her channel. She's fantastic. I've literally watched every single video. And if you want to get into cybersecurity, you really should. Any other questions? We've got 8 minutes left, so we're gonna share. If you're already done, or if you weren't really following along, you're just here for the Q&A, but you've made a website before, feel free to show off and share in the chat. And if you would like me to pull it up and show it on this video for other people to see examples of what we've made, let me know and I'll pull it up right now. I usually call this, yeah, of course. Actually, let's do it like this. If you don't want me to pull up yours, just private message me your link so I can look at it because I'm curious. But if you do want me to post it, just post it publicly on the chat. In my Hack Club meetings, we have something called Show and Tell, where we all get up and talk about our projects. I think this is good because you get a mix of students who are like a bit shy and they're not really great at like communicating, and then you get people who come from like business or DECA or stuff like that, and they're fantastic at presenting and they really want to do that at Hack Club. So I do that, and then at the end we vote for the best person in terms of what's a great presentation, great project, so that it's not really solely based off technical skill, because nothing's solely based off technical skills, not even jobs. What other YouTubers do you like? Oh my god, I have so many. Are we talking tech? If we're talking tech YouTubers, there's Live Overflow, there's John Hammond. I will pull them up so that people watching the video can see how to spell it. So there's John Hammond. There's also Stock. So there's Stock. This is how to spell his name. So John Hammond. There's Live Overflow. Those are all security YouTubers. But yeah, like in terms of tech YouTube, there's also a Canadian dude who doesn't really post anymore. I forget what his name is. John Damon. He does like cybersecurity. He does comp sci at Guelph. There he is, Devin Crawford. Yeah, so he doesn't really post anymore. He's like missing. I'm on his Discord. I don't know where he is, but he's a great YouTuber. So yeah, Devin's great. Would you recommend using your first and last name as username for GitHub? Yeah, it's really professional and cool. I use Digital Dina because like ever since I was on the internet, I'm Digital Dina, so that's like what I did. But you can always change it. Choose what you like. What are you comfortable with? How to change the size of an image? You can Google this, but I'll show you real quick. So you can do it right in the HTML tag for source. So you can, I think you can say, I think it's height. I'm gonna be honest, HTML, CSS, JavaScript aren't used in the industry that much. It's mostly JS for websites now. But when I first got started, I used this language. So height, I'm gonna do, let's say 30 pixels. Those will be small, but let's see. Yeah, that's super small, but you can do it however you like. There's pixels, there's also width, there's EM. Just look up how to change the size of an image HTML and you'll see all the options. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, of course, anytime. Any other questions? I'm just sitting around waiting for questions. We've got 4 more minutes. I'm gonna start showing off websites, but if you have questions for me, so I can talk while I give you all shout outs. So let's see. Awesome. Let's see. A memes page. This do be me though. When will it end? In case of the story, you don't want it. This is honestly why I'm scared to have kids. I know they're gonna drone on, and I'll be there like, please shut up. Memes. Okay, cool. Let's see the next. So what is it? Did you say it's mainly JS being used over HTML, CSS? Yeah, from what I see from really successful web designers. So let me show you real quick some examples. So Lachlan, they're fantastic. Like, you want an example of a website designer that's successful? Just look at Lachlan. So um, this is Lachlan. They're fantastic. So this is some stuff they've made. Their website's designed beautifully. Like, go check out LachlanJC.com if you want to see an example of a great website. And then there's Melody, who also is fantastic. Sadly, she's no longer a Hack Club, but she's awesome. So let's see her website. So this is her website. It's really cool. She's also built a bunch of other websites. She's helped build Hack Club's website. Let's look at some other websites she's helped build. So she's helped build the university's website. This is kind of what it looks like. It's more professional looking. And both Lachlan and Melody use a good amount of JavaScript. So yeah. Do you respond to direct messages on Twitter more than emails? I'm on Twitter more than email. And so whenever I see an email that's questions and stuff, usually I'm just like, I'll set a reminder to answer it later. But if it's a DM on Twitter, I'll answer right away. So DM me on Twitter if you want like me to see it. With email, sometimes I'll answer, but like I'll answer less enthusiastically, and I won't remember some stuff and resources. So if you want like resources or stuff like that, please reach out through Twitter. Let me see the other links. Maria's. I know you mentioned sharing this workshop earlier. Where would we be able to find it? I'll post it on the Girl Genius Slack. I'm going to save this to an Airtable with Hack Club, so it's always going to be there pretty much. And so I'll share it on the Girl Genius Slack. I'll share it on the Hack Club Slack. By the way, join the Hack Club Slack. It's so much fun. Hackclub.com/Slack. I'll send it in the chat if you want. That's the Slack I check the most, obviously, because I work there. So there it is in the chat. Yeah, Maria, that's a great question. She was the one who asked, and where would you find the video? So back to showing off of websites. It's almost 5. Yeah, of course, no problem. So let's see what this looks like. This is awesome. This is so cute. Fluent in HTML, CSS, but only 50% in JavaScript. All of us are. All of us, honestly. Cool. Let's drop the pen. What else have we got here? Oh, I can't see Michelle's Repl.it web workshop. If you want to resend that. This is really true. Yeah. I love this. Awesome. I love that. I love meme web pages on workshops. They're so awesome. Yeah, no problem, everyone. It's 5:01, so I want to respect everyone's time. I think I got to everyone's websites. Wait, Anil, did we see yours? Yeah, we saw yours. Yeah, so I think I got to everyone's website. It's 5. I want to respect everyone's time. This is, that's the workshop for me. Here we have one last website. Here it is. So, let's see. It's 10 p.m. in London. Cool then. I'll respect all of y'all time. It's 5 o'clock. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you all soon. Oh, we're getting more websites handed in here. So you can all leave for now. I'm just going to stay for one more minute and just make sure everything goes smoothly. And thank you all so much for joining. This was fantastic. And remember, you can always reach out to me through any of the stuff that I've shared with you here. If you have more questions, be sure to check out Hack Club. Be sure to check out Girl Genius. That's it from me. Let me check the chat. Yeah, you too. Have a great day, everyone. All right. Bye, y'all.